I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 198. Just a reminder before we start that you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. Check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at www.gamingpodcastalliance.com, like Lit Gaming Arena, if you're looking for more gaming goodness. Also, we are giving away one copy of Pokemon Sword or Shield for the Switch for our December contest. And the secret code this week is Ash Ketchum. So send us that code via DM, private message us on social media, or email us at info@ratedgforgamers.com for entry. Note that you can enter once per episode. We will be dropping codes all December long, so good luck to everyone who enters. And also, because it's December, and in the spirit of the holidays, we will be giving away free stuff, stocking stuffers, if you will. We have given away a couple things so far on Twitter, and our latest prize is Sea of Thieves for Xbox. This contest is only open to U.S. residents, and to enter, follow us on Twitter, like this post, and retweet for a chance to win. And good luck to everyone who enters there as well. I'm your host, Dave Rutino, and this is my co-host, Dan. It's only one day till Christmas, Robinson.
What's going on, man? We're in the future. This is the future.
We are in the future. We are recording these episodes ahead of time. These are a little bit of an evergreen show, I think, right? This episode and the next episode. This is a...
Well, we're on holiday, right? Much needed vacation, but we didn't want to take any weeks off.
That's right.
So episode 198 and 199 pre-recorded. Okay. Some good stuff. This is our top 10 games of all time, a piece each.
Yep.
Right, and then we'll look back at 2019 and do a retrospect in episode 199. We'll come back with a brand new episode, brand new all the gaming goodness in episode 200, which will be the first episode
of 2020. Yeah.
Oh wow,
it'll be great. It's gonna be a wild time. It is a wild time. I was just gonna say, very happy to be doing the podcast with you for these past 4 some odd years. Almost 5 years, right? 4.5 years now, I think.
We're at 4.5 years, yeah.
4.5 years. Yeah. So cheers to that.
Well, we'll say this, Dave. The future is nothing like I thought it would be. Where are the flying cars and the hoverboards?
Oh Jesus. That joke is like 5 years too late, Dan.
Okay. All right.
2015 was the future. And we didn't get well, we kind of have flying cars in the way of drones. And we kind of have hoverboards.
Yeah, they just go over water.
Yeah.
They're water-powered hoverboards.
Yeah, right.
The future is nothing like I thought it would be. I'm sorry. All right. These are our top 10 games that really had an impact on us, right? Individually. So, these are our personal top games of all time. No matter if it's portable, console, PC, doesn't matter. Mobile,
that's right.
Doesn't
that's
matter.
Right.
So if Dave was to put Candy Crush at the top of his list,
hell yeah, I do, man. That game is the greatest game of all time.
But it's probably sold the most, made the most money, maybe.
Yeah, that's up there.
Before we get into the actual list, you got to give me a notable mention. Come on, tell me what game that you love so much didn't make your top 10 list.
So like, here's the thing, right? You got 10 games. I don't know about these 10 games. I have 10 games. You don't know about my 10 games. So we're definitely doing these on the fly.
It's going to be a surprise to both of us.
I can tell you that I have an additional at least an additional 10 games that just didn't make the cut.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's like a bunch. There's a bunch. But I told myself we're doing this episode, and I gave myself a cutoff. I said, that's it. This is the 10, and we're good. So my first notable mention is Tekken 3 for the PlayStation 1, right? Yeah. That game I have fond memories of playing that game. My friend James got a PlayStation back in, I think, like 97 maybe. And the two games that he got with that console, may have been 98. The two games he got were Final Fantasy VII and Tekken 3. And we played the crap out of Tekken. Like, we uncovered all the secrets. We got all the hidden characters, everything, all like the secret costumes and everything. We just head to head, boom, 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 let's go. Yeah. Yeah. I love that game. It's probably one of my favorite fighting games. But it wasn't good enough to make the cut. So
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's I'm shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm genuinely shocked because I know how much you love Tekken.
Yeah, man.
Series, and I know how much you love Tekken 3.
Tekken's great.
Out of all the Tekken games.
Yep.
And for it not to make your list, I am now super intrigued at what your list is.
Yeah, now you have no clue what's up in there.
I have no clue because if you would have asked me before we started recording, I'd have been like, Tekken 3 is probably going to be somewhere in the middle, like six or seven.
No,
right?
no.
5, 6, or 7. I would say Tekken 3. If you
it was at one point. It was at one point. So how about you? Well, what's your first notable mention?
I'm going to say Gears of War 3.
GOW3. That's solid. That's
solid. Man,
Gears
for
of War,
the Xbox 360.
Yeah. No. Gears of War is great. The third one, huh?
The third one, you know how much I mean, with the third one, just as you put it back 2 weeks ago when we were talking about, you know, our the PlayStation anniversary, and you know, just picking the second in the franchise and not the third one, because the third one's always sort of like the best one in the franchise. And I think the third one, Gears of War 3, is the best one in the franchise.
Oh yeah,
it puts a kibosh on the Locust story. All right, even though Gears of War 4 and 5 sort of bring them back in a weird way, but they're not really the Locust that we know from their original 4 games, even Judgment. So then by the way, as a side note, I didn't think Judgment was that bad. I like Judgment.
Whew, hot take over here.
So,
and that's that's like that's perfectly fine. You know, you're entitled to like that game. It may not necessarily be the best one in the series, but it's still got some good bits to it, right? It still adds to the lore a little bit. It is part of that universe, so.
You're talking about Judgment, right?
I'm talking about Judgment specifically. Yeah. There's certainly some good things to say about that game.
I mean, it's a prequel to the original Gears, right? And it's, you know, you don't play as Mark Phoenix, which is a great character. I just love the story and the lore of Gears 3, and I love the mechanics, the shooting mechanics, and come on, who doesn't love the chainsaws? I
got a love-hate relationship with those chainsaws.
and Gears 3 was the first game in a Gears series that I actually beat. So I played Gears 1, 2, Judgment, and 3, but I beat 3, Judgment, 2, and 1. I went backwards when I actually beat it.
Oh, shoot. So you got the reverse story. That's interesting.
Yeah, pretty much. So, all right. Now you know what? I'm super curious.
Yeah.
What's your number 10 game?
Oh, my number 10, Dan. My number 10 is a tiny little game for the PC that came out in 1993 called Doom.
Wow.
Number 10, baby. Yeah, Doom is amazing. Doom still kind of holds up today, right? It's still
the original
fun.
Doom still holds up in my view. I mean, come on. You know how many clones they ported of Doom?
I know. You can play Doom. You can play Doom on a Lamborghini. Somebody ported it to whatever navigation car system that the Lamborghini has. I've seen Doom on an ATM machine. I've seen Doom on a McDonald's kiosk. There's been Doom on your cell phone in every different fashion. I mean, everything has Doom on it. It's ridiculous. Yeah, that game is just that game is just crazy. They crank it up to 11. They give you tons of big guns, and you fight tons of monsters. It's got a rockin' soundtrack. Yeah, it's great. I mean, you're like on Mars, and a portal to hell has opened up, and all these monsters are just pouring in. Right? That's the only plot you need. That's
when was the first time you played Doom?
Well, I mean, it came out in '93, so I played
you played it when it first came out.
I played it in '94, maybe. I think I played it a little bit after because I picked up the shareware version back when they had, you could buy like part of the game as like a teaser, and then you had to actually order the game through id Software because they weren't producing physical packaging. So you would mail away for it, and then you'd get the game, and they eventually put out the package for it. But yeah, so like it's very hard to find a box copy of Doom because it came out way after the fact.
Okay, all right. You know what? I kind of want to get a box copy of Doom too. I've been secretly on the low looking for a good price. I should say, because you can find it if you want to spend the money.
I mean, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay, that's your number 10. I see where you're going with this. All right. So my number 10, it's a little game, and I struggled on which one in the series to put there. But I'm gonna say Batman: Arkham Asylum.
Ooh, the first one. Yeah.
The first one. I'm not gonna. I'm the first one, and this one is actually for the 360. But I'm not gonna lie. The second one the Arkham City holds a special place in my heart because it sort of got me. It started pulling on my strings to get back into gaming, and I got it on the PS3. Right, but Arkham Asylum is just an amazing game. I could play it over and over again.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Oh, it's really good. I mean, it was. I don't want to say it's the first real good Batman game because there were other good Batman games. They were just littered with trash Batman games on top of it too.
There was some Batman and Robins and some Batman Forevers in there among the Sunsoft Batman for Nintendo and the Konami Batmans for Super Nintendo. So,
hey, Return of the Joker, Batman Return of the Joker was awesome.
Fantastic game. Yeah.
But Batman Arkham Asylum. But Batman Arkham Asylum was like the first really good like superhero game, right? Would you say that? I mean, it took you 4 years to beat on hard.
Well, yeah, man, because I like a good challenge. Hey, you know what? I beat that game, and that's the important fact.
That's true. I never beat City.
City's tough, yeah.
I did come close to beating City, but I beat Arkham Asylum. I played it when it first came out a little bit, but then City really got me into it. But then I went back after City. I became a gamer. And we started doing the podcast. I went back and beat Batman Arkham Asylum, and I remember that joy I had played it when I originally played it a little bit when it first came out. So that game will always stick with me. I can always just get into that game and just start beating random people up in the jail. Because I love a good beat 'em up, and this sort of mixed everything you want all together, right? Where you had an exploration game, semi-open world. It wasn't really open world, but you can go to different parts of the asylum. A good story, good narrative, music was great, and you can get to use the gadgets and stuff. So I mean, City opened it up a little bit more, where you can fly through the city. Well, glide, not really fly. But Arkham Asylum, I just love that narrative, that just one focused of, it's not too open, right? It's really focused in on where you got to go and what you got to do. So it made me just fall in love with Batman all over again. Like I love Batman, but I'm more of a Marvel guy personally. So, but I gotta say, I'm more of a Marvel guy, but Batman is probably my favorite superhero of all time.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. I think, me too. And I think part of it is the fact that he's an everyday Joe, right? He doesn't have any superpowers specifically. So he's got to use his wits and his cunning to get through, to beat all these superheroes up who are arguably more powerful than him in certain aspects, Scarecrow, Mr. Freeze, Joker. They all have like all these like crazy. Bane is like just a beast, It's kind of, part of the charm. Part of the charm, I guess. But so my next pick, my number 9, right? These are games that mean something to me. StarCraft 2.
Oh, wow.
On the PC. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Played a hell of a ton out of this game. Me and my friends would play all the time, right? And we just do, because you could do like these big battles, these 4-on-4 battles. So we'd get we get just everybody together on these like big maps, and I don't know what it is about that game, but it's RTS done right, and the world building is amazing in that game, right? You really kind of get into it. You know, you kind of feel for the different alien races a little bit, right? You get to know how the world is built, and you know, like the storytelling. Like you talk about narrative, that game has it in spades. Like you may not necessarily like the RTS and the actual action bits, but man, like the storytelling in there, and one of like the best parts is because they broke it up into 3 different games, right? And everyone was up in arms. They're like, "Oh, you're giving us 1/3 the game, right?" And it was no, like you still got a full game, right? You got a full story campaign. It was just the Terrans, right? You could play as the humans, and you know, it kind of continued the story of the first one, but they modeled like the big mothership, right? The kind of floating home base that like you were on, and there was all these different places you could go to, and like the best place for me was the bar. So you go to this like space bar, and they had like they had a bartender, and like it was just a bunch of people around, and like over in the corner you could see a arcade machine, and you could actually play the arcade machine. They put a shoot 'em up, a StarCraft shoot 'em up in the real time strategy game.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I gotta be honest. I don't know much Starcraft because that's I'm not really into those RTS type games.
Mm-hmm.
But when did it come? Wait, when did it come out?
StarCraft was 2. StarCraft 2 was like 2011 or 12, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been a while.
So, yeah, I don't know much about that. Now, if you would have said Mario and Rabbids, I would have been all with you on that.
Completely different game though. Like that's turn-based tactical strategy, where this is like real time. So there is no waiting, right? You see those if you ever watch like one of those like esports tournaments, they move quick. They move so quick that they have a stat called APM, which is actions per minute. And they even have overlays that you can put in the game to see what your actions are per minute. And, you know, it's every time you click and do this and drag and move and whatever, it'll add up to your APM. You want to have a real high APM. Over like 60 actions a minute is like pretty decent.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane.
Is there, well, I know this is PC, but is there like a physical edition of StarCraft 2?
Well, 100%. Yeah. You can get StarCraft 2, the Zerg add-on, and the Protoss add-on, all in like physical small box.
Oh wow! Okay. All right. Okay, I got a tough grad. Listen, I like you, but so far your picks are solid.
Hey.
Yeah, I like your picks. All so far PC games.
Two PC games on the board. You know, there's not intentional. It's just how they fell.
My number 9 game holds just that special place in your heart that it just clings to, and just dangles. It never goes anywhere, and it just pulls on my heartstrings. I'm sorry. And this is a game that I never beat as a kid. I never beat the Genesis version.
Oh.
I never beat that. I got to the last boss and just could never beat him for whatever reason. I just couldn't beat him. I beat him as an adult, but I couldn't beat him back then.
Right.
And this was one of my rage quit games and come back to. And by the way, there were no saves. There were no saves, so I had to
back when putting a battery in the game was expensive.
Yeah. But then, again, co-op too, because I could play with my cousins and friends whenever it came over. And that is Mortal Kombat 2.
Ooh, yeah. You know what the best innovation about that game is?
That
they put a pause button in there.
Blood?
No. They put a pause button in there.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is correct.
For some reason the first Mortal Kombat on Genesis and Super Nintendo didn't have a pause button, even though they both had start buttons. I don't know what that was about. Didn't make any sense to me.
I couldn't beat Shao Kahn to save my life.
Oh yeah, he was tough.
But yeah, and he was super tough. And I remember I couldn't get to him, and then when I finally got to him, he beat me. And I think I've probably told this story on the show a bunch of times. He beat me literally. I'm no lie. He beat me like 100 times, like in a row. Like I just wouldn't give up, and I just couldn't. I rage quit, and I couldn't go. And I never went back to the game for like months. And I finally went back, and he still beat me again. I just couldn't beat him as a kid. I just couldn't beat Shao Kahn on my Genesis. I beat him at the arcade. I just couldn't beat him on Genesis.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
Now I have fond memories of playing Mortal Kombat Trilogy, right?
Well, that was the Ultimate. It had everybody in it.
Ultimate, yeah, I played that on the Super Nintendo. I played that on the Super Nintendo, and that was that pass controller back in the day. You know, friends and family were over like Thanksgiving. But we did the same thing with Mortal Kombat 2. In Mortal Kombat 2, I always go back to that time, that summer in my life when I just couldn't beat Shao Kahn to save the life of me.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I know those moments, man. You just keep coming back and coming back. I'm like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you this time.
I think that was my second game that I rage quit on. Like the first game was Super Mario Brothers 2. I didn't beat that until maybe like 6 months ago.
Right.
So I rage quit Super Mario Brothers 2, and I think I rage quit Mortal Kombat 2. It's always about the second version. Rage quit the second version. Mario and Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, part 2. That's tough. Nice, nice, solid pick.
So what's your number 8?
My number 8. Ooh, my number 8 is a recent pick. Funny enough, right? Okay. It is a game for the Nintendo Switch that I would have picked for Game of the Year, but I realized it was amazing. I didn't realize the kind of genius of it, like really the genius of it, till a little bit later, and that's Dead Cells.
Dead Set. Wow.
Dan is stunned right now.
What?
Dan is at a loss for words, which is very uncommon because Dan always has words.
I always have a comeback for you, but I am speechless right now.
There you go, man.
I thought you would have picked. I thought you would have went somewhere else. I thought you would have had another pick. Dead Cells. I mean, listen, I knew you loved Dead Cells, right? Like, I knew how much you loved Dead Cells, but I didn't think you loved it as far as like, top 10 games of all time. I didn't think Dead Cells would beat out Tekken 3. It's
big. It was. I'm telling you, this was very tough. All these picks are very true. You know, it's not being mixed up just to be mixed up. It just is what it is. These are games that mean a lot. And granted, this is a recent game, but man, was it good. You know, and everybody that I talk to, everyone I recommend this game to, they're like, yeah, that game is great. Thank you for recommending it. Or I love this game, you know, and you know, I'm talking to somebody else about it and they're like, yeah, it's just so, the audio's great and the animation's great and the art style and the environments and oh my God, everything about it is just perfect. And they keep making additions to it. They're on their like 15th update already. That's insane. They've had like 15 decently sized updates, right? Where they do balancing and they add new weapons and they add new abilities. Sometimes they add new stages, right? They mix up the different paths and things you can do. And they're doing that again with this latest one. They're going to add 2 new starting paths to go down, which is fantastic. So really like a dedication, you know, and like, I loved it so much. It was my Halloween costume this year. So, you know, there's that kind of, you know, that, you know, it says a little something. I think it says how much I like that game.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, I would say you loved, no, you don't like that game. You love that.
I do.
Top 10 games of all time.
I
liked the game. It was good. I played maybe 2 hours of it. And it was like, okay. You know, I mean, the whole roguelite type element didn't really, you know, that's not type of game I like, because I like to, if I'm going to lose, right, like just like Shao Kahn, if I'm going to lose, I want to learn the pattern. Right. I want to learn the layout. Right. And it always changing when you die is not something that.
Well, I mean, it does, but you do get. There are some permanent things, like you unlock you lock certain weapons that you can get during your run. And, you get more like permanent power-ups and whatever from the game. You get special abilities that are permanent. But yeah, like the level layout is always going to be different. So that's, it's, I don't know, it's kind of the fun for me, but.
I mean, hey, look, the game will always be infamous for, getting Philip Moosen, from formerly of IGN, fired for plagiarism.
I know. That was the one that really did him in.
That was the one that did him in. Nobody cared about his FIFA plagiarism, but it made the dead cells.
Yeah.
Don't mess with the dead cells.
All right. Oh, that's funny. So what about your number 8, Dan? What do you got?
My number 8. I'm not gonna lie. I went back and forth where to put this game on the list, and I've just come to the conclusion I got to keep it here at number 8.
Yeah.
It was as high as 6 at one point.
Oh.
All right, but I think 8's a good spot for it on my list at least. And just like you, I picked the Switch game.
Oh.
And that Switch game is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yes, all about these picks.
Wow,
love it.
The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild was the first. Well, first of all, it wasn't the first Zelda game I ever beat because that was Link's Awakening.
Right.
But it's the first Zelda game to ever capture my attention. I didn't grow up with Zelda. I didn't play Zelda 1 or 2 when I was a kid. I probably saw somebody else play it, but I never played those games. A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time. I'm sure maybe I've played some of those games in passing, right? But they never, at that point in time when they came out, never captured my attention.
I'm with you.
This was, and I wasn't into gaming when Twilight Princess came out, Wind Waker. When those games came out, I wasn't really time. So this was the first major Zelda game that was released when I got back into gaming, and this was the first Zelda game to capture my attention when I got the Switch. Right? So
probably the best launch game of all time. Right?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It sold more. Nintendo sold more Zelda Breath of the Wild's games than actual systems. Switch consoles. It had 130% attach rate.
Oh, that's insane. How does that happen?
And it's the open worldness. You could go anywhere. Again, everyone was mad because they didn't have traditional dungeons. But to me, this was my intro to the universe, the lore. So I don't know what dungeons are. I never played any really I never really played any dungeons before prior to this.
Yeah, I mean, I see where people are coming from because dungeons are kind of fun. Like here's a new self-contained thing, and they're gonna have a gimmick to it. You're gonna have to run around and run through it. But this was not that. Like this was. Here's a bunch of small little things like how do you get around this mountain? How do you beat this single shrine? How do you get into the giant water elephant thing, right? And beat that area? Like those were like the fun bits.
Well, it essentially had 4 dungeons.
Kind of, yeah, kind of.
Right, because they were kind of different and giant
beasts, yeah.
Yeah, and you could beat the game
without even doing any of that.
You could just go straight to Ganon and try your luck.
Probably get your butt handed to you, but you could do it.
Yeah, try your luck. So I still haven't beaten this game. Yes, I know. I need to beat it. I've just been having too much fun unlocking the map and going around.
It's almost going to be as long as it took me to beat Batman Arkham Asylum. You got to get into this. You got to beat it. You got to beat it before 4 years. Otherwise... I
beat Link's Awakening, but I didn't go to beat.
You just got to do it, man. You just got to go to Ganon, right? You beat the 4 different creatures, right?
I got 4. I got 3 of them.
You did? Oh, okay. Yeah, you could skip the 4th one if you want.
Yeah, the 4th one is in the volcano. I left off. I think it's like in a volcano area.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because like I keep losing my life because I don't have the special suit that I can withstand the heat.
You get the suit in the volcano. There is another way to get up there. And that's all I'll say. I had to look that up, actually. I cheated a little bit because I was like, I wonder how you're supposed to do that. And there is most definitely a way. But
okay. So yeah, number. This listen. This
Solid,
was,
man.
This was as high as 6.
Solid, man. Yeah.
But after much thought and deliberation, 8 is a good place for it.
I'm surprisingly very simpatico with your pick so far.
Yeah.
So my number 7. I don't know if you'd ever guess this, but my number 7 is Fez.
What?
It's Fez, yep. And I played it on the Xbox 360 because that's the system I had at the time. And I love everything about this game. It is amazing. It is probably my favorite. It is my favorite indie game of all time, and it's definitely on my top list. Like the graphics and the sound, the way that it's a 2D game, but the world is in 3D, but you only see it on a 2D plane, and you have to rotate the world around, is insane. And it changes the dynamics of everything. Like it's very hard to explain without actually like seeing it and playing it and like learning some of the basic puzzles, and then it's like, oh, it all just kind of comes together. But yeah, and like the soundtrack to that game is amazing. There's this guy, Disaster Piece, who does a lot of video game soundtracks, a lot of ones you like probably know, and he does some movie stuff, and he like puts out a lot of chiptune music on his own. He's very prolific, so you can definitely find like a lot of his music. But oh my god, yeah. I can't say enough about that game.
Wow. You
wouldn't have thought, right?
You throw me curveballs here, man. I mean, your notable mention, Tekken 3
was going to be high on the list. Yeah.
Doom. You know what? Solid pick. I would completely understand you picking that, but then you just go left on me. StarCraft 2. I would have never thought you were into that type of game. Dead Cells. I knew you really liked Dead Cells, but I didn't know you loved it so much. You put it in your top 10 list. And Fez. Listen, Fez was a game that I think was like free for Xbox Gold with Xbox Live,
probably
on Xbox One, and I played it a little bit, and I was like, this thing is amazing. I'm getting confused. I played. Yep. I don't say a little bit. I played a solid like 3-4 hours. And I got lost.
Oh yeah, you do definitely. That's kind of the one negative about that game. Some of the puzzles can be very obtuse, and there's like a set number of things you have to get to beat the game, like little cubes, and then there's an additional like 32 cubes that you can get on top of that for an extra special ending on top of that. So that like kind of muddies the water a little bit. So some stuff you can skip, some stuff you have to do. But like some of like the puzzles are very odd, and you have to like decipher languages and codes and this and that. Like it gets very crazy.
Wow,
it's a little wild. Yeah,
I'm liking the list only because it's I mean, I guess you can say mines are kind of safe. I mean, but they mean something to me, and just like I know these mean to you. But I am shocked. I'm glad you didn't show me ahead of time. I'm glad you didn't show me a list ahead of time, because I'm genuinely shocked. And we're not even halfway through. We're not even halfway through.
I'm down with your first 3 in the notable mention. Like I'm definitely with it. Some of those were definitely notable contenders for me, which you may or may not hear. So
okay,
yeah.
All right.
So what do you got for number 7?
I think you're gonna like my pick for number 7.
Oh yeah, is it Barbie Horse Adventure?
Barbie Horse Adventure, definitely it could have made the list. It was on it. I figured it dropped. It dropped. It dropped far down.
It dropped because of this game. Is that it?
It dropped because of this game. This game shot it out of the water, literally.
Oh boy.
And that is Doom for PC.
Oh, see, there it is. And I mean, you've definitely talked about Doom, at length. And I know that, your dad had the PC back in the day, and you guys would kind of play PC games, and, he kind of brought you into that world. So I think that's I think that's awesome. That's, really like a good story, and we can definitely we can and definitely have bonded over how great Doom is. All right, it's just that experience.
I love the original Doom.
Mm-hmm.
I had a leading edge computer.
Nice.
That was my father's.
Yeah, this was back when they were a thing.
And this was something that me and him bonded over, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was Doom and corny horror B movies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we would always bond over those. So I love the original Doom. Like, I just couldn't stop playing it. I can stay on Doom, mouse and keyboard, and just play all day.
Nice.
All right. And then when Doom 2 came out and like you can make your own levels, I was like, oh, this is amazing. So again, I'm playing on DOS too.
Yep.
I'm playing DOS. All right. This is before Windows.
Yeah, Doom.exe. Enter.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes. Oh my God. I remember that. I remember I kept putting a semicolon and I forgot what the semicolon was. And I kept not be able to get in, and I'm like, "Why not getting in?"
That's funny.
And my father, show me again. When you got to don't forget the semicolon. You forget the semicolon.
Yep.
Because you had to type in the drive that you wanted to enter.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Man, those were not the days. Those were not the days. But I've definitely, you said a lot of good stuff about Doom. I wanted to keep a little quiet because I knew it was on my list.
That's fair.
I definitely echo everything that you said about it earlier. So I love that game. I mean, and the game still holds up today. I mean, look how many Doom ports, Doom clones and Doom ports we've had. I mean, this game came out in '93.
Yep.
And it's still being released and remade to this day.
It birthed the genre, man.
It birthed the genre. It did.
Almost literally. Nice.
So, what is your number 6?
My number 6. All right, I'm going a little bit left field.
Oh my God.
You may be right. If I haven't gone left field enough now, you may be wondering.
Swamp
Dave,
Thing for the NES.
Dave. No. I know you love RPGs, right? Okay. I haven't seen a single RPG on this list yet. Well, then, now is the time for Ogre Battle on the Super Nintendo. That is my number 6.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep. I sideloaded this game onto my SNES Classic, and I play this game probably almost like once a year. I make a new character, I build a new army, and I just play through the damn campaign. It's amazing. Like, this is tactical. It's like it's like real time, as in like everything's moving at once. You send a guy out towards the enemy base, and they're sending people out to your base, and you basically have to like take over all the towns and then get to the boss and then kill the boss. But you get to put like armies together, right? And it's like there's like an alignment chart, so there's like good characters and bad characters. So like paladins and knights and clerics and all that, they're like good, and you can have like skeletons and wizards and demons, and those are like bad, and you want to group them together because they'll fight better together, right? Because they're like evil guys and then the good guys. Yeah, it's insane, and you can like upgrade your characters however you want. You put them in like front row, back row, and they get different powers. Like, you spend half the game not in battle. You spend about 3/4 of the game not in battle and just like setting your army up, and that's like the funnest thing for me. Yeah, it's wild.
Wow,
it's wild.
Okay, all right. I thought, I'm not gonna lie, I knew you would have some RPGs on your list.
That is definitely the first, and it may not be the last.
It may not be the last, but I would have never have thought Ogre Battle would be on your list. Okay?
Yeah, no, I love that game. I haven't talked about it too much in the show, which is why, to be honest.
Which is why I was always intrigued when we said we were going to list and we said we would tell each other. It would be sort of like a Christmas surprise, right? Like a open up gifts. You don't know what's going to be in the gift.
That's true.
I tried to. I know you well. And Dead Cells, Doom, Tekken 3, but I gotta say, Ogre Battle, Fez, and StarCraft threw me for a loop. Interesting. Okay?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right. I'm learning.
So what do you got?
I'm learning all things about you, Dave.
So what do you got? What do you got for number 6, Dan? Toss me a curve.
Man, number 6. Some people may not think this is a game, but it is.
Uh-oh.
It is. It's a game.
All right.
Just what was it? EA? It's in the game.
Yeah.
This also, and you know how I love my narrative-based games, narrative-driven games, story-driven games. I love story, and I love a story that can tug on my heartstrings. But no story has tugged on my heartstrings more than The Walking Dead season 1.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for this one. Wow. All right.
My first platinum trophy
Was in this game.
on PS Plus was on this game, and I did it on the Vita.
Yep. Nice.
Did it on a Vita. Still on
Nice.
Vita Island, baby. Hashtag Vita Island. Only one here.
Nice.
Greg Miller. Only one here. I'm just putting that out there. Oh my God. Listen, I know you're not a big fan of the Telltale games, right?
Yeah.
And you shouldn't play. You shouldn't play. You shouldn't. They did one series terrible, just terrible. And the name escapes me right now. It is. I almost said The Lord of the Rings. And
Game of Thrones. No.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Don't play that. Okay.
I
Don't
hear
play
that
one.
I hear that's pretty bad. Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Probably
it's the only
costs
one
so
I
much
haven't
getting the
finished.
license. Yeah.
It's the only one I haven't finished.
Yeah.
But if you can play one, you can play one.
The Walking
and
Dead.
Dedicate time.
All right.
Not just The Walking Dead. Walking Dead season 1.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. All right.
And if I say any more, it will spoil. So I don't want to spoil this for
Okay.
you. I'm
All
just
right.
gonna say
All right.
you must. I will be beating the drum for this. I think you would really enjoy it.
All right. I'm gonna have to, because you feel so passionate about it, and you feel very strongly that I would enjoy this game. So I think I kind of have to. I have to give it a whirl. I have to.
I think you would enjoy this game.
All right. Fair enough.
I say you have to try it.
All right.
So I mean, I just before you go, I did it on the Vita, so I did it on the Go, right? So I never imagined I would like this game. I played this on a whim,
right.
and I fell in love with this.
Yeah.
So, all right, what's your next game?
So my number 5 is BioShock for the PC.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. BioShock was
Not the second one, not the third one, the original.
Oh yeah, no. BioShock 2 is definitely the worst of the series. Granted, it does have better combat. The first one is a little bit weak in the combat department. 2 fixed that, and also fixed the hacking mechanic. They made it a lot more fun and less annoying. But the overall narrative of BioShock and the story that it tells, and the fact that and I think this is fair to say, right? The game is over 10 years old now, right?
Yeah.
They Ken Levine, or Levine, whoever you want to say it. I'm pretty sure it's Levine though. The head of the game, who was the head of Irrational Studios, who made System Shock 2, and then BioShock is kind of the spiritual successor to those games, even though it's in like a different universe and a much different timeline. BioShock was really part of the reason they put it together was, okay, let's blow apart the myth of player agency, right? And what I mean by that is a lot of games give the appearance of having choice, where you really don't have choice, right? Like in Mario Brothers, you can take it back to one of the earliest examples, one of the most perfect games, the original Super Mario Brothers. They're like, all right, you control Mario, right? And you can do whatever you want, technically, right? You can run to the right. Can't really run back to the left yet, but you can jump and you can break bricks and you can kind of take slightly different paths. You want to go down this pipe or not down this pipe. But at the end of the day, you have to run right and go to the end of the level, right? They force you to do that. They don't make any bones about it. They just go, okay, here's how you win. You get to the goal, right? So this is what you have to do. And in the beginning of BioShock, immediately when you get onto the bathysphere thing that takes you down, right? There's like a radio, and the radio pops on, and the guy's like, hey, pick up the radio. So you pick up the radio, and that's your form of communication with this guy named Atlas. And Atlas Atlas is saying the whole entire game, would you kindly hit the button to go down to the thing? And I'm like, all right, look, I'm going to help you get out of this place. Don't worry about it. And he takes you through this underground nightmare, which was supposed to be like a utopia just in case the world went crazy, right? And you basically learn the whole entire game that Atlas was just trolling you, right? And it's like, and he like over the course of the entire game, he keeps telling you, "Would you kindly? Would you kindly? Would you kindly?" And at the end of the game, you basically fight Atlas because it's the man who you thought was trying to be your friend turns out to be the ultimate boss of the whole entire game, and it turns the whole player agency thing on its head, right? It's like, well, you never really had a choice, right? You can stand there. But then that's the end of the game, right? You can never beat the game. You have to do what he says, all right? And he gives you the illusion of having choice, and that blew my mind.
Well, why do you think BioShock 2 was the worst in the series? What made BioShock 2 so bad?
Because it was just
the first one and the third one.
It was basically just a redux of the first game. They didn't really have as engaging of a story. They basically continued. It's basically 10 years later, so they just kind of continued the narrative of it. But there wasn't really a lot of surprises in the game, And what they did have as the big twist wasn't really as impactful as the big twist of the first one. And I think like the gameplay mechanics themselves are good, but not great. Just like how. We like talk about some games like The Outer Worlds it's a great game, has a great narrative, but the shooting mechanics not so great. BioShock had good shooting mechanics, but they weren't amazing. But the narrative is really what got you through. And 2 was kind of like almost like a copy paste, And it was the same world and all that. Like BioShock Infinite, the third one, tried to switch things up a little bit, and they like put you in a whole new world. Ken Levine was back on board. Like he didn't direct the second one. That was like 2K saying we want a sequel, and Ken's like, I don't really have anything new to give, so I'm not going to do it. And 2K had the license rights, so they got one of their in-house studios to make part 2, and it was good. I still enjoyed it. I think it has better combat than the first one, but the narrative not as strong.
Okay.
So yeah.
Right. I never finished the original BioShock. I got maybe more than a quarter way through, and then something else caught my attention. And I didn't play it when it first came out. I got the BioShock collection.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't have really nostalgic for it from the last gen. So I wanted to go back and see what the fuss is about. And I get the whole player agency. I can understand it. So, okay. So my number 5 game, I'm gonna go. You know this. You know I love this game.
Oh boy.
You know I love this game. It's and it's I'm about to make a controversial statement that I've made before. And you know it.
Oh, I could probably guess.
This is the best game in the series.
Mm-hmm.
This is hands down the best game in the series. I don't care what anybody. They're wrong. If anybody says anything other than this, they're wrong. I'm sorry. And that is Mario Kart 64.
Oh wow! Oh, I thought you were gonna say something completely different. Okay.
Yeah, number 5, baby.
No, Mario Kart's great, man. Mario Kart's strong.
I was king of Mario Kart 64 in large part. That I only had 3 games at the time for the N64. I had Duke Nukem 3D, which almost made this list. I will say that. That was
on my that was almost on my list too. Yeah.
I have fond memories for Duke Nukem 64 and GoldenEye. But Mario Kart 64, I love this game. I was king of this game because it was one of the only 3 games I had. And by the way, I have no nostalgic for Mario 64 because I never got it. I never played Mario 64 as back then when it first came out. I played it as an adult. Doesn't hold up that well compared to other Mario games of the past, right? But Mario Kart 64, I was king, and this is why Mario Kart 64 is still, in my view, like sort of the best one in this series. You can, for 2 reasons, you can pick an item, hold it in the back of your cart, hit another question block, and now you have another item up there too. So you can have 2 items at the same time and hold it. And what I used to do I used to wait because every course had one of those. Almost every course had one of those. If you jump, you jump over. Like an overlay, you jump over to the other side, and below, if you fall, you go back to like sort of the beginning of the course.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always strategically plant a bomb at the right time, or plant a banana at the right time, right before you do the jump.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hit it, you go right back to the beginning of the track.
That's smart. That's smart.
So and it had little tricks to it, right? You know, when you're on the beach and at the cave, you can, if you get a mushroom or 3 mushrooms, you can just zip through up and over in the cave and do a little shortcut, right? So they had those. I love Mario Kart 64 so much, right? And it was great use of the thumbstick.
Yeah. I didn't really play much of it at all, so I don't have the nostalgia love that you do for it. But I understand its place in history, and I respect the choice 100%. So that's good. That's good.
Listen, I love that game. I can go back to that game. I must have hit gold. I got gold in everything. Like, I played that game so much, I would not get. I learned how to beat it on hard. So if it was like, I can't play the Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe like 200cc is just ridiculous, too hard. But if you would have put 200cc in Mario Kart 64, I would have hit gold every time.
Nice.
So what's your number 4? We're halfway done. We're a little
more than halfway done. Yeah.
What's number 4 on your list?
Oh, my number 4, Dan. You ready for this one?
Not really, but
boom. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
Best Zelda game. The original was one of my favorite games of all time for so many reasons. Mainly the whole community aspect of it, where all my friends had it, and we'd all bring our cartridges over to each other's houses, and we'd all like, hey, did you find this thing? Did you find, you could do this, and you could bomb this, and there's a whole level, and like, oh my God. And it was like, we were all just sharing all these secrets. So it was like the internet before the internet. And it was just kind of like, they put you down, and you just go, right? They give you a little tutorial island, right? That little mountaintop where you kind of learn the basic skills, and you get all the powers that you have for the game, and you get your glider, and then the old man's like, it's time for you to go. You have learned everything you need to learn. And it's like, wow. And you just look, and just you can just see for miles, and there's just all this stuff, and I'm like, it felt a lot like the original. And they even like said that they went back to the original for inspiration. They said, what made this game great? Let's go back to the roots.
Didn't they make like a Zelda Maker with the original?
They made
to map out what they wanted to do with Breath of the Wild.
That's right. So there's like a 2D top-down Zelda Maker style thing where they like mapped out the overworld and how it was going to play out, and they play tested on that to see like, okay, well, we could do this, and we can make this interesting like this. So that's like amazing. It's just can't say enough about that game.
Okay. All right. I was wondering if this is going to be on your list.
Yeah,
the game would be on your list.
If this game didn't come out, I probably still would have had the original on there.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. My number 4 came out of nowhere. I didn't think I would like this. I wasn't a big, I don't say I didn't like the other games in the series. I just wasn't a big fan of other games in the series. But God of War for the PS4 was amazing.
Yep.
And it just skyrocketed and jumped to number 4 on my list. Because, I mean, you want to talk about narrative, having a story-driven God of War, sort of. It's not linear, kind of. You can go anywhere you want, kind of, sort of. But you want to stick to the story, and you want to talk about mechanics. You can use the axe, or you can use the chains. Eventually, spoilers, you can get the chains back eventually in the story. And Kratos just has different dimensions to him. He's not just an angry half god that wants to kill everybody.
Well, that was like the first 5 or 6 games was basically him just being angry, cranked up to 11, and I was like, that was cool. And now they're like, no, wait a minute, Kratos is a dad.
They give him some personality. They give him some other dimensions to his. They give not dimensions. They give him some other dimensions of him. Like he's not just a flat character, right? He's got a little bit of Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. And you gotta love the twist at the end.
Oh my god.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, the double twist, because you have the twist when you beat the game, and you find out somebody's real name, what they wanted to name them, and then you go home and find another twist.
Yep.
And it has great replayability, right? Because you can always go back and do all the collectibles and beat all of the Valkyries.
Yep.
Which are really hard to beat, by the way.
I know. I beat like one of them, maybe.
But that the introduction of the axe was genius.
Oh yeah, no, it was great.
I think the axe is like my favorite weapon now, like in games. I want it to be just like that.
Yeah, someone did this guy Mark Brown did like a breakdown of pretty much just that axe and like all the little things that they did. Right, the way it like wobbles and when you like throw it and when it comes back, they like make the trajectory like purposely go in a certain way to like hit enemies. I think when you like have it come back and it swings out and your arm goes back a little bit when you like pick it up. It's pretty neat. Yeah.
Okay.
So my number 3 is also when anybody asks me my desert.
Wait.
What's up?
You continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We're in our top 3 games of all time.
We are in our top 3 games of all time. This is it.
This is it, baby.
It's the cream of the crop. This is the
cream of the crop.
This is for the bronze medal. This is for the bronze medal. And if anybody ever asks, Desert Island game, this is the only appropriate answer. And that is Tetris for the Game Boy. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Tetris for the Game Boy, man. Infinite replayability, amazing soundtrack. There's nothing else you have to say about this game.
I was wondering when. Well, just Tetris in general. I was wondering when this would be on your list. Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
listen, I give it to you. I had Tetris. Tetris has that iconic music. I love playing Tetris when I had the Game Boy. It was the number one game I played on the Game Boy. In large part because it was the only game I had on a Game Boy for a while.
It was the pack-in.
Yeah, it was the pack-in. So listen, I love Tetris. I do.
Yeah.
I can see your appeal, and you love Tetris. You, of all people, should really be in like Tetris tournaments.
I feel like I can hang.
And you get competitive.
I feel like I could hang. I did try at a Penny Arcade one year, funny enough, and I got knocked out in the first round. So,
well, that's because you were overconfident.
I was very confident.
You're a little cocky.
I was very confident.
You're a little cocky.
You're
a little cocky. I give it to you.
Yeah, that's all right. So, what do you got for number 3, Dan?
My number 3 is the third game in the series. And I don't care what anybody says. It's the best game in the series. And that's Uncharted 3. You knew it had to be on the list. Baby.
I did, and I was wondering where it was going to pop up.
You knew it had to be on the list.
The question is Uncharted 2 going to be the second game, and is Uncharted 4 going to be the first game?
You never know. You never know. But Uncharted 3, I gotta say, I'm gonna say no to Uncharted 2 being number 2 because Uncharted 3 is better than Uncharted 2. I gotta tell you,
that is an unpopular opinion, but all right.
That ending, but they can't compare boss battles. I'm sorry, the ending boss battle was not as good on Uncharted 2. I think that killed it for me. I love we've talked to death about the train sequence, which that set the bar for devs right at the time. Like that was an unbelievable sequence. But come on, Uncharted 3, you're in a desert. You get hit with sort of hallucinogenics, right? And you're tripping out, and they have this whole sequence where you're tripping out. And I know you didn't beat it. So I'm trying not to spoil it. I'm trying to hold back.
Thank you.
and then they have the whole pirate sequence, which is great.
Yeah.
Like in the opening of the game, where you're in the bar fight, and they have that little teaser to The Last of Us, which we don't even know is The Last of Us, but with that little teaser, which always makes us think Uncharted's in The Last of Us universe. Come on, and it's just I think from a mechanic standpoint, game story, just from a story standpoint, and kind of set piece. Again, I love the train sequence. I love it. It's Uncharted 2 is on my top 100 games, or even probably top 20 games of all time. But Uncharted 3, I think, is just better. Just a better all-around game.
Nice. All right.
For the PS3.
All right. I'll take it. Number 2, coming up to the silver, right? Second spot on the podium here. I gotta give it to it is a long running franchise that has switched developers and publishers many times over. That is Fallout 2 for the PC.
Wow. Okay.
My favorite Fallout game in the series, Fallout 2. Bigger and better than the first one in every way, although very similar. I mean, uses the same engine, has a lot of the same assets in the game. But part two is a lot better. They really kind of fleshed out being a bad guy, where in the first game it wasn't really lucrative to be a bad guy. But in like part 2, they gave you a lot more benefits. They gave you bad NPCs to pick up. You could rob graves and like steal jewelry from like people's graves. That was kind of cool. Yeah, man. Like you could pretty much do anything in that game, right? You could just walk into town, take out your shotgun, and just start blowing people to bits, right? And it wouldn't affect the story, right? You were still able to complete the story no matter what you did. So even if you took out a whole entire town, you could still beat the game, right? They made it so that, your goal couldn't be tainted in that way, right? There was always this like end bit you had to get there, and they're like, however you want to get there, go ahead and do it, So yeah, man, I clocked a lot of time into that game.
I never played Fallout 2. It is vastly different than the other Fallout games, correct? That came after it.
So this was like 3D isometric, and it was 100% turn-based. So the skill system that was in 3 is essentially the same one that was in 1 and 2, with some modifications and tweaks to it, but the like the targeting system that they have in 3, like the VATS as they call it, that was the thing you could do in 2, but the targeting system was like you would do a targeted shot and you could pick the part of your body, but you had like action points. So you could only do so many things in a turn, right? Where in like this one, you technically still have action points, but the action points are only for the slowdown moments. Otherwise, it's essentially a first-person shooter. So that's where like things kind of differ. So like, where you can move to and getting behind cover and this and that, all like very different. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting game. It's interesting that, Bethesda now owns Fallout.
Yep.
And they sort of just took Fallout and made it sort of definitely a different game than the original 2 games in the series.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people still have that love, that fun. I mean, I know you love Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. So, okay, interesting. Wow, you never cease to amaze me. I did not know you love sort of those strategy games. Like I did not know you had, because you never really talk about it. Well, we never.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, because I know that you're not like crazy into it, and there's not necessarily a lot of news stories that necessarily come out around those kind of games. It's becoming a little bit more niche, which is like cool because you can every now and again you'll find some really nice experiences out there, but we it's a little bit different on the show. I'll say that, because we have to find things that we can both kind of talk about, and it's it's a little hard when you're not like into those games. But yeah, man, all right. That's my number 2.
So my number 2 is the second game in the series, and it's just coincidentally 2 on my list.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I love the first one. I really like the first one. Love the second one. The third one didn't play as much as a kid. Played as an adult. Not the biggest fan of it. And I think I'm gonna shock you right now. I'm gonna surprise you.
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2
Wow. There you go.
for the Genesis.
Faster than light. Gotta go fast, Sonic. Yeah, all right.
I'm a big Sonic the Hedgehog 2 fan.
Wow.
I can play this game over and over again. You want to talk about
Sonic
Desert
2?
Island game?
Mm-hmm. Sonic 2 is great.
I can play Sonic 2 over and over again. I beat it with no saves on the Genesis when I was a kid, and then I beat it again as an adult.
Yeah, man.
You know, I love Sonic 1. Sonic 1 I beat actually on the airplane going to PAX East 2017 maybe. It was part of like the Genesis collection on the 3DS.
Oh yeah.
I think it was part of the Genesis collection on 3DS, if I'm not mistaken, because they had no, I am lying. No. I beat it on the PlayStation 3. Because I get save states.
Yep. That's how you do it. You know, you want to be able to like come back to the game and play
it was just that water stage towards the end. It was like the stage before last that really got me, because I hated going in the water and you got to find the bubble, and I just can never find the bubble in time, and I had no more lives.
Yeah, and
continue.
And the background music's going faster and faster, and you start freaking out. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. So I love that game, man. That game was amazing. That game, Sonic 1 came out. It was great. They made that the pack-in game with, you know, at least in America, they made that the pack-in game with all the Genesis. Switched it from Altered Beast.
Yeah.
And then Sonic 2 came out and it just took it to a whole new level. Mario finally had a competitor, right? At that point when Sonic 2 came out.
Yep.
So then Sonic 3 came out. There's some issues, development issues, you know, Michael Jackson allegedly doing the soundtrack that had to pull out, or maybe Genesis pulled out on that. We don't really know what, you know, we don't really know what the deal was on that, but it's a reason why Sonic 3 is not really ported anywhere. other than Xbox Arcade.
Yeah, three is my jam. Three is the one for me. But
I like
Sonic is fantastic.
I like Sonic Mania, but Sonic Mania is made in the ilk of 3. Which again, I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't like the little mini boss battles. I like the traditional Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 route, to be honest. So Sonic 2 will always hold a place in my heart.
Right.
Sonic 4 doesn't count.
Yeah, no, we don't like to talk about Sonic 4.
Yeah, even though I did like Sonic and Knuckles.
Right. So we have 2 to go, because we're slotting in one notable mention here, right? I'm going to build up a little suspense for our number 1. We have had a lot of heavy hitters on this, both from you and from me, but I think it's time for one that didn't make the list, and I'm going to go with. I'm probably going to shock you again.
Oh wow! Okay.
SSX Tricky on the PS2.
You serious?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Dude, this was so. There was a couple games that were quintessential college games for me, right? You know, I went away to school and I had a bunch of, you know, nerd friends. We all played PC games together. And games like Worms 2, games like GTA 3, the original StarCraft, Half-Life, GoldenEye 60 on the N64, games that we like played to death. And you know, somebody always had a big screen, or there was one down in the lobby. We'd bring down the N64. We'd all play on our PCs and have giant LAN parties. But SSX Tricky, man, we'd all get together and just like ride down the mountain. And it was so much better than the first one, and I loved the first one. But they added like a ton more characters. They added a bunch of new stages where it was just going to be like, it was supposed to just be SSX like DVD, I think they were going to call it, and it was just going to be like a making of, and maybe like slightly better graphics. I don't even know, but they were like, nah, we're going to turn it into a full-fledged sequel, and they went like to the wall. Just ridiculous. Everything was over the top. They licensed It's Tricky from Run DMC. And they had that in the game every time you did a tricky trick, and it did not get annoying in the least. It just kind of amped you up. Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I am shocked.
Yeah.
I am shocked that you picked that game. That is.
Well, there you go.
I thought
Good
I honestly
memories,
thought
man.
your list would have been totally different. Now, what system did you play this for again?
PS2, yeah, that was the
Okay.
PS2 specifically. Although I also got to play it a little bit on the Xbox as well, like later on down the line. But I remember the PS2 one, and that's the one that I played first. So
Well, that's the one that you have, fond. Okay,
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
You've thrown me for a loop. I've learned a lot about you.
There's some surprises on here for you too, so I'll have to say that. But
Okay. Well, mine. Before I get into my number one, I gotta do my notable mention,
yep.
and I think I'm going to shock you on it.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, Tetris on mobile.
Ooh. Well, there you go. Now, which Tetris mobile game specifically? Because there were a ton.
Well, the one that EA put out. I have Tetris. I have Tetris from EA.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know how long I've had this. I don't know how long I've had this app on my phone. I've had it since maybe 2 or 3 iPhones ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my go-to when I'm stuck on a train and I need something to occupy my mind real quick because I'm getting pissed off at the train traffic, or maybe I'm on the express bus and we have traffic in front of us, and I need something just to occupy my mind. And I don't want to get into a full-fledged Switch game or maybe a Vita game or maybe a 3DS game at the time when I was carrying it with me.
That's right.
My go-to was open my iPhone and go to the EA Tetris app and play Tetris.
There you go. That's fantastic. Nice.
So yeah. All right. So now I am super interested, super curious.
You should know my number one.
What?
So I'm pretty sure I know your number one.
What is your number one?
All right. I'm gonna have you guess it, and I want to try and guess yours too. Throw me out one guess.
I thought you had to guess. I know what it is.
All right.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Ooh, no, but that is a very good pick.
It's a good guess. Okay.
That's a very good guess.
Well,
Was that the actual guess?
That was my actual guess.
Oh, okay.
But you know what? I don't want you to guess mine. I want to tell you mine. I want to tell you mine first.
Oh,
you know
go ahead.
What it is?
Go ahead.
It's the Order 1886, baby.
No, it's
back.
not. No, it's
Number one
not.
on the
Get
list.
out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. No, it's not. I know you're messing around right now.
It could have made the list.
No. It's not the Order.
What's your number one?
All right, my number one is Dan. You should have known there was a severe omission to my list. There was no Final Fantasy on here at all.
Wow.
I had to rectify that. My number one best game of all time. Boom. Final Fantasy 6 or 3, if you remember it back on the Super Nintendo days.
Wow.
Amazing.
I gotta be honest. I'm really shocked at your list. I was Ogre Battle. I thought wouldn't be on the list. I thought Final Fantasy would be on our list.
Yeah.
I know you're a big Final Fantasy guy, and I thought you would have picked not 6. Was it 5? No. You know what? It's 4. 4 is like your favorite one. That's really 3. Yeah. No, okay.
Well, 6 is 3. Yeah, that's the one.
6 is
4.
3.
4 is 2.
The numbers are very confusing.
I know. It took me a while to get them straight too. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I know, because I would say 7 is best, because that's the one I have nostalgic for. You said no. I think you said 6 is better than 7, but I think 4 is the best one that you liked.
6 is the answer to both those. 6 is the best, and 6 is my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. 7. Look, I don't want to say 7 is bad, but 7 suffered from a bad translation. And it suffered from, I think they kind of go hand in hand. The dialogue wasn't great, but I want to chalk that partially up to the bad translation, right? And like, oh my God, like everybody talks about all the adult themes in that game, and like, they do kind of touch on some of those things. There are some like moments that are like, oh wow, they make you stop and pause a little bit, but the execution isn't great. Like, they are kind of breaking new ground because they're like one of the first games to like talk about it, especially in an RPG and even just in like video game context in general. But execution's not the best, But like for its time, everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is insane," and everyone's got like fond nostalgia over it. So I don't fault them for liking that game, but I think 6 is better written. I think 6 has better characters, and yeah, you know.
Okay. Wow.
That's my pick.
I got to be honest. I'm surprised at your list. You have a good list.
Hey,
I'm just shocked.
I appreciate it.
Listen.
Your list is great too. Now we haven't gotten to your number 1, but I would like to take a stab at it.
Go ahead. Take a stab.
Okay. So it's either one of 2 games.
Now you're taking 2 stabs.
Well, I'm not going to take 2 stabs. I'm just going to tell you the 2, and I'm going to tell you the one I'm putting forth. So I know you mentioned Uncharted 3 already, right? But there's 4, technically 5 games in the series. But Golden Abyss is definitely not the best. And neither is the first one. So I have a strong inclination to say that your number 1 pick is Uncharted 4. But I am also noting that, to quote one Dan Robinson, the greatest game of all time, Super Mario World, is not on this list. And I think
you know it, baby.
Think you would be remiss. Yep, there it is. There it is, Super Mario World.
Super Mario World, the greatest game of all time.
Nice. All right.
I love this game.
It is amazing.
I could play this game over and over and over again. I beat this game on the SNES when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost done with this game on SNES Classic.
Right.
I beat this game. I'm going to beat this game again on Nintendo Online. And I mean, when I mean beat it, I mean find all the secrets, right? Mm-hmm. When I say beat the game, I mean the turtles are little Mario heads.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean by beat the game.
You get through the whole entire special, all 96 exits. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my God, this game is my Desert Island game of all time.
Love it.
Best
game
of all time in my view. I could play this game over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I have fond memories of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about only having one game to play.
Yeah.
and Nintendo Power to look through to help you get through all the secrets.
Yeah.
You know, before there was internet, folks, we had to have we had to buy the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
To get all the secrets and tricks and trades, or go to school.
Yeah, because the internet was like barely a thing, even in like Super Mario World days, right? Having the internet was a luxury, if it was even a thing at that point, right? It was just still so very new. And then to find stuff on video games was like GameFAQs wasn't around yet, so you couldn't just go there and like find your strategy guide and be done with it. So it's a very different time. Wow,
oh man,
there you go. I think we have 2 very respectable lists right here. I don't think people would sneeze at these picks by any means. That's great.
Okay. Yeah, we have, listen, we have a great list.
Yep.
I'm shocked. I am shocked that Super Mario Brothers 3 is not on your list. I know how much you love that game.
Dan, it's in the notable mentions, right? It's in the handful of games, the 10 plus games that didn't make the list.
Wow.
I got a Half-Life 2 in there. I got Super Metroid in there. I got Metroid Prime in there. Chrono Trigger. They didn't make the cut, man.
Well, you know what? Just to name a couple of games that didn't make the cut on my side.
Yep.
Marvel Spider-Man PS4.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
I did say Duke Nukem 3D.
That's right.
Soul Blade.
Ooh, yeah.
Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I put Super Mario Brothers 3. I mean, that could have made that was on my original list.
Wow.
That was on the list. I love that game. It's just not the best game in the series.
Disagree. But all right.
And as a side note, Axiom Verge.
Ooh, right.
On my list.
Talk about the Metroid influence. There you go.
Yeah, Axiom Verge was sort of it started. I first made the list. Axiom Verge was like 8 or 9, and then it became a notable mention, and then it just wasn't on the list at all.
Yeah,
I didn't mention it at all. It just fell. It kept falling.
Yeah.
I kept comparing my love, impact, replayability, where I was in my life. Like
nice.
it kept falling. But if we have, if we come back to this and do like a top 25 games of all time, Axiom Verge is on the list.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's awesome. This was good.
Well, that's it, folks. That's episode 198 in the books on this lovely Christmas Eve. We want to wish everybody a happy holidays for whatever holiday you celebrate this season. do not forget that we have our giveaway going. So if you want a late Christmas present at this point in time, go back to the beginning of the show and take a listen for the secret code for one copy of Pokemon Sword or Shield. And if you missed the code in previous episodes, what are you doing? Go back and listen to those episodes. Get that code. Send that to us for your chance to win. And also, do not forget about the stocking stuffer contest that we have going over on Twitter. That's a copy of Sea of Thieves for Xbox. And remember, that is open to U.S. residents only. So, if you want to interact with us, like sending us these codes, and we know you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.